You know what's funny? I was trying to calculate this with someone yesterday. So I was in at NDSS 2003 to 2007.
Okay, good. Okay.
So where are you today, Laurel?
I'm in Toronto, actually.
Okay.
And Toronto is home to you now?
Yes, and it has been since 2007, yeah.
Is that where you went to school in? Did you go to school to do this?
Yeah, well, so I actually went to theater school at York University. And so it kind of, the transition from theater to film was kind of a natural one, but it took I did theater for a number of years.
So you wanted to be an actor?
Well, actually, no, I was doing playwriting and acting at the same time. So it's always both, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've kind of switched over, you've changed gears a little bit and taken up more of the storytelling, the editing, and the writing, the editing, and producing.
Yeah. I would say the main transition is basically more from theater to film, but the skill set, I think a lot of it is still the same from theater and film, in terms of the storytelling and the writing and that kind of thing. That's been sort of always the trajectory.
And yet you have done it so remarkably well so quickly that you've just been named a top award winner in Canada. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yes. So I'm one of 5 winners of the Telefilm Canada New Voices Award. So it's given out once a year. It's a national award, and it's for screenwriters. So that's very exciting, obviously.
And it was for your script, Better in the UK. And I'm reading the description of what this Better in the UK was. And I have to ask you, Laurel, because the story follows a small town teen who dreams of bigger adventures in far off places and in the process accidentally falls in love. So was this
an autobiography?
Yes. Was this based on true events?
I know. I keep getting asked this question. It's so funny. So I feel like with any writer, there's obviously pieces, bits and pieces of myself and my experience. I will say a huge part is my imagination and fiction. So, of course, there's elements of me in it, like anyone really. But I would say it's also, a fiction from my imagination as well. But yeah, there's definitely truth from my experience.
Laurel Brady, a graduate of Napanee High School circa 2003 to 2005, now a nationally credited and award winner on the show with Mark and Charity this morning. What part of Napanee plays in this? What'd you do in high school that started to plant some seeds?
I was always a huge part of the arts community at Napanee. I was in all the school plays, and I directed there as well. And I was a part of the Selby Theater, the community theater as well. And then I also was part of Studio LC. They used to have, I'm not sure if they still have it, I think they do, the Studio LC Focus program. So it's for film and acting. So I was a part of that as well as the improv team. So it's kind of like creation and storytelling was definitely always a part of even that time in my life, which is, quite a long time ago now. But if you kind of look back at the trajectory, it totally makes sense of where I sort of started and where I am now, although you don't really notice those things in the moment, I would say. Yeah,
but you certainly didn't come at it from a part-time. That's a lot of things to do as a teen in high school to certainly pave the way for it. So who are your contemporaries that you really look up to, and where do you want to go 10, 15 years from now?
What a good question. I guess I'm really inspired by a lot of the female creators out there. So like Mindy Kaling, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, a production company I really admire. They're showrunners and creators and just kind of really, really cool women is the Cameron sisters in Toronto. There's so many I could say specifically, but I just am really inspired by people who have a mindset for the creation process as well as writing individual stories as well.
Well, and along with winning this award, it's amazing that you've done this, and certainly a highlight, I'm sure. What, through your career so far, are some other standout moments, experiences you can share with us?
Yeah, for sure. So in 2019, I was again one of, I think 4 or 5 winners for the McGee TV Diverse Screenwriters Award and Mentorship, which was just such a wonderful opportunity. It was a great time to get the mentorship, which is so important in my industry, and something that like I would love to give back one day in that area. As well as I was an alumni of the Canadian Film Centre, which kind of was a huge component of what sort of propelled, I think, me forward in a lot of ways, because it's a really incredible professional development lab. And then just the projects I'm working on now, unfortunately, I can't like speak too much about them at this stage, but just the projects I'm story editing and consulting on, and then some of my own projects that I'm writing on, I think all of those just bring me so much joy, and I feel so grateful to be able to be working in this area that I love so much.
Yeah, Laurel Brady, formerly of Napanee, now in Toronto, an award-winning playwright throughout the community. And boy, you know, if you had done this 25 years ago, what are there? Maybe 100 movies get made. But now with streaming, I mean,
more opportunities.
The opportunity and the chance to not just have to write maybe a 90-minute movie, it can be an 8-series. Has this really broadened your horizon? Is it easier or harder because of this to do what you do?
That's such a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I'd like to hope that it makes it easier. I think because there are so many more opportunities and there's so many different people looking for various types of projects that, you know, you don't have to make a film sort of in the few boxes. You don't have to check off the few boxes. You can kind of be a bit more creative because there are so many different streaming services or distributors or that kind of thing. So I'd like to think it opens more doors. I'm going to say that.
Yeah. I hope, as I have an 8-part Netflix series in my head that I want to write. I think everybody has a book in their head, right?
Yeah.
They want to write.
Totally.
And it was never a movie, but now I can see an 8-parter and I can see it in my head, and maybe I'll send it to you and you can write it, please.
Amazing. I'm so excited to get that email.
I don't know, Laurel.
Yeah, careful
I don't
what
know.
you wish for.
But that is wonderful, and we wish you all the success as you continue on. I have to ask though, who do you want to work with in the future? Your dream actor or actress, or even someone behind the scenes? Who would you love to work with in the future?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, actors. I love Susan Sarandon with all my heart. I would probably like Susan Sarandon, Brenda. I always forget her last name. Blessin, I think, is her name. Like, I love those fierce women. In terms of, like, creators, I think the list that I mentioned earlier, like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Minnie Kaling. I'm blanking on names now. I feel like, you know, I'm, like, nervous. I'm like, oh, who do I pick? But I feel like I just really admire those, like, people who are writing and creating their own work. I really look up to this.
When you write characters, though, do you think of an actor or an actress to play that in your head when you write it?
You know, I don't. I really think of I try to get to know the character themselves, and then it's kind of when I'm sort of packaging the script in terms of making the Bible and the pitch document, that's when I start to think, oh, it's kind of like this person. But I really have the character existing and it's in their own sort of realm, and then I have to kind of like match it to a real life person after the fact.
That's really good.
That's
really good. And before we let you go, you just won your first Academy Award. You're at the podium. Who do you thank?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is like the greatest role play ever.
Start writing it now, because you're going to be there, and I'm going to sit in my living room. I'm going to tell my grandchildren, it's not going to take that long, that, you know what, I used to cancel her buses in Napanee.
Exactly, please.
And there she is at the Kodak Arena picking up a trophy because she's so creative. So who would you thank?
Oh, definitely my family who are so supportive, my partner, I guess all my mentors along the way, because, you know, even from high school and elementary and sort of all like my professional development mentors, I think all of those people along the way who each, you know, helped lift me up to where I am today, and hopefully, you know, I can do that for other people in the future. So I guess, kind of all the people who have been supportive and just there for me along the way, I guess.
Wonderful. Laurel Brady, again, originally from Napanee, a Napanee District Secondary School alumni, now in Toronto, winner of the Telefilm Canada New Voices Award for 2021 for her script Better in the UK. Such a pleasure to speak to you, Laurel, and again, all the best.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks.